Welcome back into the Daily Dose. I'm your host, Jeff Hansen. As always, the show is brought to you by Give'emHellBrigham.com and by CougarSportsInsider.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed so far. If you haven't done so yet, please like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, do whatever it takes to show your support for the show. We appreciate it a ton, and it does help our show grow. Here on YouTube. It's a new show, helps our platform out a ton. So thank you so much for your support and your continued support here at the Daily Dose. Today, we are going to talk about linebackers coming out of the 2022 season, certainly on the defensive side of the ball, but potentially on the entire roster. The linebacker unit was the biggest question mark going into 2023. BYU really only had Ben Bywater and Max Thule coming back who had any meaningful experience to speak of, and certainly any meaningful experience that you feel comfortable in. And even those two had their own question marks. Bywater was up and down in 2021 and 2022, though he consistently got better, and I think it was more of a subject of the scheme rather than his talent that led to those inconsistencies, but they were inconsistencies nonetheless. And of course, Thule, when he's on the field, he's great, but he struggled with injuries in his own right and has had a difficult time playing every single week. So with just those two as your surest things in the linebacker room, clearly there needed to be an emphasis on the linebacker spot before this season, and that's exactly what we saw happen. BYU has added a pair of transfers in A.J. Vongphachanh from Utah State and Harrison Taggart out of Oregon. Starting with Vongphachanh, I think you can pencil him in as a starter in between Bywater and Thule to start the season against Sam Houston State. Vongphachanh comes with multiple years of starting experience. He's been Utah State's leading tackler for the last couple of seasons, and he brings that experience to BYU and will help shore up a run game and shore up a tackling defense that, man, they just struggled. They were one of the worst tackling defenses in the country last year. A guy like Vongphachanh certainly goes a long ways in helping fix that problem. Taggart is really good, folks. I don't think he starts the season out on that LB1 line, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the time conference season rolls around in week 4, if Taggart hasn't found his way into the starting lineup. That's the kind of potential that he's got. From what I am told, he's close to 230 pounds and really hasn't lost a step. If you go back to his high school days, at about 205 pounds, Taggart was running a 10.7 100-meter dash. That's elite level speed. Even if he has lost a tenth of a second or two, and he's a 225, 230-pound 10.9 guy, we're talking elite athleticism at the linebacker spot. As soon as he picks up the scheme, he's going to have to find his way onto the field. He is arguably the most talented linebacker on this roster. There is no downplaying how big of an addition Taggart is to this linebacker room. So those are your top 4 guys. And beyond that, there's some guys that need to step up. And one player who I have been told is got all of the attention of the coaching staff is Isaiah Glasper, who's moving up in the defense and playing linebacker. He really caught the attention of Justin Enna. You heard his name mentioned throughout spring ball. And from what I hear, that's more than just coach speak. That is legit. Isaiah Glasper is going to push not just for a spot on the 2 deep, but he is going to push for a starting spot. I think this coaching staff, assuming he continues his trajectory during fall camp, is going to have a really difficult time keeping Isaiah Glasper off the field. It sounds like all of the hype you heard is absolutely earned and legitimate. Glasper has a huge potential and a very bright future within Jay Hill's defensive scheme. And we could see that start to come to fruition as early as Sam Houston State if things go like I've heard they might go. Beyond that, you're hoping that one of the Kafusi boys steps up, Ace Kafusi or Isaiah Kafusi. If one of them can emerge and show that they're ready to take consistent playing time, that would really be a boost to the linebacker room. My money is on Micah Kafusi. Micah, of course, is the little brother of Isaiah and Jackson, the cousin of Bronson, Corbin, and Devin. From what I saw myself with my own eyes, and from what I heard from opposing high school coaches while Micah was playing at Alta, most believe that he was the most talented of his brothers, which is saying a lot. Jackson was great. Isaiah was really great. If Micah can stay healthy and he really is the best of that trio, then BYU's got another really good Kafusi linebacker in the pipeline. That would go a long ways. Now, dark horse candidate that most of us might have forgotten about, Chaz Johnson. Whether he's a safety or a linebacker is still a little bit fuzzy. I think he plays a hybrid position. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. We've been critical. I've been critical of the former coaching staff for moving players around too much. If Chaz is playing a hybrid position, does that really fix the problem? As long as he stays there, yes. The problem isn't that Chaz was playing safety or linebacker. It was that Chaz was playing safety one week and then linebacker the next, and then safety a few weeks after that. If Chaz has the time to stay at one position, get his body right for that one position and the physical toll that it entails, it doesn't really matter what position it is. Chaz has the talent to succeed. He just can't do both. It's really difficult physically and mentally to prepare for two different positions on seemingly a week-to-week basis. So if Chaz plugs in as a hybrid and he stays at a hybrid position this year, as long as he's healthy, I think that will be a big boost that most of us have forgotten about to the linebacker room. I think Chaz would find his way onto the field. He's a bona fide playmaker when he's healthy. And I think he's finally going to be healthy. And hopefully the football gods cooperate, because, man, if anybody deserves a break from an injury, it's Chaz Johnson. And finally, a newcomer, Sewell. Let's not forget him. The true freshman out of Timpview High School. Turned down a lot of big-time programs across the West. 4-star recruit. He's a big body, and he's fast. He's a team leader. The dude wants to win at all costs. His attitude is going to be difficult to keep off the field. And then what he brings from a talent standpoint is elite. I saw him multiple times at Timpview, and boy, he's special. I mean, he's a big body. He reminds me a lot of a guy like Noah Sewell, who prepped at Orem High School and ended up at Oregon. Maybe he isn't quite the high ceiling that Sewell is, but that's the kind of style of play that Sewell has. He's a big body who will help in the run game, but he's fast enough to be explosive as a pass rusher, and he can hang in coverage as well. Obviously, he's got to learn the speed of the college game, but as he picks that up, his talent will certainly make it difficult for him to stay on the sidelines. So you've really got 7 or 8 guys now that you're feeling pretty good about at the linebacker spot. How do I see the two deep shaking out on week 1? I think your starters are Thule, Vongphachanh, and Bywater, backed up by Taggart and Glasper, and probably Micah Kafusi to start the season. I think that's how it looks, but there's a lot of other bodies and a lot of other names there who could potentially change that up with a strong fall camp or a strong first few weeks of the season, particularly in those first 2 weeks when BYU is not playing Power 5 competition. The linebackers look considerably better today than they did just a few months ago. That's music to the ears of BYU fans. Now we just need that scheme to accentuate that talent, to highlight that talent. And I think that's exactly what Jay Hill and Justin Enna are going to try and do this year. Thank you so much for your support of the Daily Dose. And until next time, give them hell.